Salute and welcome to the Stories and Cocktails podcast, where you will enjoy an entertaining short story from acclaimed humor columnist Rob Kreider. Story time is the family portion of the show. Then we move on from the stories to the cocktails. This is where the alcohol and the not safe for work portion of the show takes over, as Rob and his wife /editor /muse Sara Kreider are taking some adult beverages and provide you with a behind the scenes recap of what really inspired the original story. Put your feet up, relax, and enjoy yourself a round of stories and cocktails. Cheers.
This story is called Potty Mouth by Rob Kreider. Hey, that's me. Some people are born with disabilities. Some people can have minor surgery to correct their abnormalities. Me, I was born with a foul mouth. The only surgery to cure my problem would be to staple my lips together. Even then, I could still use sign language to be vulgar. And I only know two things in sign language: the peace sign and the, well, you can figure out the other one. I don't have to use my middle finger to point it out to you. I have the mouth of a sailor, but curiously, I was never in the Navy. I curse for no reason. I don't do it because I'm upset or frustrated. I don't do it because I smashed my thumb with a hammer or because someone cut me off on the freeway. Those are valid reasons to use profanity. I just do it all the time, constantly and incessantly for no reason whatsoever. I think I do it because my brain is slow while my mouth is fast. My brain is trying to think and my mouth is buying some time by using filler. The other day, my wife asked me what I wanted from the store. I told her, get some milk, some bread, and some f***ing cheese. What was that for? Was that really necessary to get my wife to buy cheese? My wife wasn't bothered by it. She has known for years that I'm a foul-mouthed idiot. The only time she gets upset with me is at parent-teacher conferences or during weddings. I can't really fault her for that. I have found some pretty inappropriate times to drop an F-bomb. It isn't as if I want to be a vulgar person. It's just that somewhere along the line, I replaced the word the in my vocabulary with the F word. I actually want to stop cussing. My fear is that people will get the wrong impression when they talk to me for the first time. I don't want people to think I'm angry or trashy. I just say the F word a lot. It is my only vice, other than gambling, drinking, and procrastinating. Some people spend thousands of dollars on gimmicks in attempts to quit smoking. Unfortunately for me, there isn't a patch for cursing, unless you consider a piece of duct tape over my mouth a patch. Instead of a patch, I have two kids. My kids are the self-deputized bad word police. Talk about embarrassing. There is no shame like having your kids remind you on a daily basis, over and over again, you are a degenerate father. Oh, Dad, you said a bad word. What? When? They'll tell me, just a second ago. Oh, shit. Wait, I did it again. I'm telling Mom. My father-in-law is a train man. A train yard is a place where profanity is not only used, but is recommended by the federal government. However, I have never heard the man cuss a day in his life. He says things like, son of a beehive, or doggone it. I've always been impressed by his ability to hold back. I wanted to try the replacement method of profanity, but I found myself just messing the whole thing up. For instance, when I took out the garbage and the bag broke on the hallway, spilling half-eaten chili all over me and the floor, I ended up saying, doggone it. Every once in a while, a complete stranger will call me out when I'm cursing for no appropriate reason. When this happens, I want to dig a hole right there and jump in it. A guy said to me the other day, you kiss your mother with that mouth? My quick mouth / slow brain reply was, nope, but I kiss your mother with it all the time. I deserved to be punched in the face, but luckily at that moment, we were just two dads dropping our kids off at preschool. I guess in today's society, the common thing to do in this situation is to blame the whole thing on my parents. They didn't wash my mouth out with soap. They didn't give me a timeout when I said bad words as a kid. What they did do was let me listen to comedy tapes from Eddie Murphy, Andrew Dice Clay, and Sam Kinison. As a teenager, I listened to rap music. My favorite movie is Pulp Fiction, which uses the F word enough times to gain a spot in the Guinness Book of World Records. That really did happen. I grew up with the F word. It was how we said good morning at my house. It's no big surprise I'm a foul-mouthed heathen as an adult. I am trying, though. I have a cuss jar at the house. Every time I curse, I have to put money in it. My children are the F-word tax collectors. I want to be a polite, proper, better person. Because the fact of the matter is, I can't afford not to be anymore. However, I have found that not cursing is f***ing hard. By the way, I'm going to need a lot bigger jar.
Okay, folks, it's time to pop that top and let's get to those cocktails.
Hey, welcome to the Stories and Cocktails podcast, drunken portion of the show. We are in the RV Tiki in San Antonio, Texas. How are you doing, Mrs. Carter? We went a little hard last night.
Oh, we did. I really like San Antonio.
Yes, we do.
Yesterday, we set out to do some non-drinking touristy shit.
Yes.
We said, hey, it was kind of a crappy day weather-wise. Let's save the good weather to do the river walk, and let's go down, let's see the Alamo, do non-alcohol.
That was the
touristy
plan.
Stuff. That was the plan.
Yeah, I started off with yoga. We went on a bike ride.
Yeah.
We walked a little bit. We went and did the Alamo. And then later, that became sort of a punchline because we were like, remember the Alamo? Because it was like, remember the plan we had?
When we were sober.
To do touristy stuff and get exercise and not get ripped roaring drunk.
Yeah.
And then what happened?
Well, there's that big, huge, ginormous tower thing looming up above us. And you said, let's go up there. And I said, okay, that sounds like some good touristy shit to do.
The Tower of Americas.
The Tower of America.
Yes, can't miss it.
Big, ginormous tower. You go up there, you look down at
Tourists,
the city.
it's like we're just like moths to a flame. We're like, ooh, look at that tower. Let's climb it.
So we walked over to the tower and we looked and it said $18.50 per person to just go up the elevator to the big tower. And you were about to sign us out. You're like, okay, $18.50 per person, almost $40. Like, let's do it.
Which is a dumb thing because I hate heights. So I'm like, okay, let's just get the fucking money out. Give me that wristband. Let's get to the top of the thing and get this over with.
But then I found a loophole.
Yes, you did.
There's a bar up there. So if you just say, no, we're just going to go to the bar, they take you up the same elevator. You go up with all the ticketed people.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't pay the $18.50. You get to the bar. And then we found like the super loophole. It was happy hour.
Yes.
So we got out of there. We had 2 apps. We had a round of drinks. We got the same view. And I think we were out of there for like $32.
So you saved us $8, but you started us down the drinking train.
Well, yes.
And then I wouldn't want to look at our credit card last night, but I can guarantee you the last bar alone, I kept saying one and done. And I had to keep closing out 5 or 6 different times. We were probably into, because we started a tiki bar too.
Yeah.
So we were in for probably a good, this is no bravado, $350 last night in drinks.
Probably.
Yeah.
Which all could have been avoided if we just paid the price of admission.
All we had to do was just remember the Alamo.
Yeah. Because as soon as we got up there and we got those happy hour prices, then it was just on. Like we had just had like one drink and we were like, oh, okay. I'm feeling it now.
And there's a speakeasy. There's a tiki bar.
And
there's a river walk.
I'm looking at my watch and I'm like, we still have probably an hour of happy hour time. Like, let's hit a few more places and then a few more places. And happy hour became nighttime hour. And I don't even remember coming home last night.
It's the big drinking snowball with us. Like
It is.
it's just a little piece of snow at the top of the mountain. It's just one quick happy hour drink, just to save money. And then it starts getting bigger and bigger. And the crazy thing about snowballs is they get larger and they gain momentum, just like drinking with us is. And then we're just out of fucking control. You could not stop us last night. We closed every bar on the river. We just kept walking down the river walk and just finding another bar that was still open. And then we finally closed that bar down at 2 a.m.
It was bad.
You don't even remember getting in the Uber.
No. Then this morning, we had this great idea. We said, hey, we went too hard. Yesterday was supposed to be a non-drinking day. Today was going to be the river walk drinking day. We said, well, we kind of did that last night. We don't need to do it again.
Right.
Let's be sober. Then what happened is I was on my phone researching things to do in San Antonio. I found out that puffy tacos are a thing. You got to come to San Antonio and eat puppy tacos. And then it's the whole snowball
Which I
effect.
misunderstood you. I thought you were going to eat puppy tacos. I
No.
was like, I don't even think you can cook dog in America. Like,
No.
people don't do that. You're like, no, they're supposed to be really delicious. I really want to get a puppy taco. I'm like, baby, it's not even like an old dog. It's a fucking puppy. And you're like, let's go get it. I'm like, I'm going to have to get drunk
I would
to
never do that. I would never do that. So puffy taco means we got to go out to a restaurant. And if I'm going to a restaurant, I'm probably going to have a cocktail. And so if I have a restaurant and a cocktail in my future, I might as well just have a cocktail right now.
And here goes the snowball.
here
So what
goes
cocktails
the
do we
snowball.
have, Mrs. Kreider?
So you've got a camping coffee, which we make so many different variations.
Oh,
of that,
it's so
but
good today.
Yours today is just coffee, and you went easy. I wanted to put some Screwball whiskey in there. The other morning I had it with Screwball whiskey, and it was so good. So I tried to get you to do that, and you're like, nah.
Well, only because I'm just being a wuss. Like, I barely got up today. It's fucking 3:45. We just got out of bed.
Yours is, we should call yours Camping Coffee Light. It's a decaf. You know what I mean?
It's a decaf with sugar-free chocolate.
Yeah, it's a decaf.
It's a total wuss drink.
In all senses of the word. It's decaf coffee, it's sugar-free hot chocolate, and then it's not even real Bailey's, it's Carolyn. So it's like the knockoff.
Oh, man.
Although it turns out I like Carolyn's.
It's
better
really
than I
good.
like Bailey's.
Well, it's funny that you're giving me all this sugar-free stuff because last night I went ham and I was at a bar shoving my phone in front of the bartender's face. Make me a Robgina. It's on Urban Dictionary. And I just found out you can buy a coffee cup that says Robgina on it. And I was super excited. I'm like, hey, look, I posted on my Instagram. And she's like, what do you want? Vodka, pineapple juice, and a splash of grenadine, please. And then you just turned away from me. You're like, I'm not doing this with you.
Well, okay. It sucked, though, because I was in between you and I was in between a stranger. So I was in between two men. You're yelling at her that she should know what a Robgina is because it's on Urban Dictionary. Everything is on fucking Urban Dictionary. But you're yelling at her like she's some kind of deficient bartender because she doesn't know.
I'm just saying she should have been
a
studied in the
Robgina.
collegiate arts of bartending and mixology. She would know what Robgina is.
Yeah, that zero people have liked or seen on Urban Dictionary.
Or about the coffee cup.
It's got no traction.
Even my own
at
family
all.
didn't like, hey, we should buy Dad this coffee cup with his drink on it from Urban Dictionary.
But you're-
Nobody fucking did it.
You're yelling at her that she should know this, and you're demanding that she make it for you, but you're also demanding that she tell you, like, oh, that sounds really good. You know?
You're such a witty guy.
Yeah, exactly. Then the guy on the other side of me, I turned to him to get a break from you. Well, he's trying to fuck her.
Yeah, he really wanted to fornicate with her.
Yeah, I mean, he's 40. Well, he told us he was 42 years old. I think he was 44. So he is close to my age.
But he wasn't close to fornication because there was no way she was leaving the bar with him.
She was like 25. And he's
and indifferent to him.
Oh, yeah. And he's just like trying to tell me that he has game. He's telling me that I'm ruining his game because I'm...
He was. He kept saying like, hey, back off. He's like, your wife's not a very good wingman. And I was laughing because I'm like, who does a bartender hate more? This guy who's actually trying to fuck her or this guy's like my fucking cool drink?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I mean, I think she's like, look, I can fuck this guy when I go to sleep. You won't shut the fuck up because your wife's here. You're not going to try to fuck me, but you're not going to stop talking about this goddamn Robgina. So I drank all the sugar in the world last night. And then like I do every day. I woke up this morning, I'm like, I'm going to do my yoga. I'll have a decaf sugar-free. I'm going to be a monk again.
I love in your version of this, like the ingrained misogyny in you it just surprises me more and more every single day. I love in your version, the only way she can get away is to fuck this guy. You're just like, yeah, I can fuck this guy and he'll shut up. She could just walk away. Women, they could just say, you guys are fucking morons. I'm walking away.
Do you think you women have choices?
Oh, God.
What fucking year do you think it is? Jesus. What country are you living in, Mrs. Kreider?
I can't with you.
All right, well, so speaking of that, we want to hear your voice more right now because our last episode, which was Morning Wood and Getting in Vans with Strangers, I listened to it. I was out of my fucking mind. And I apologize a bit. I had a different octave in my voice. I was cranked out of my mind with excitement that I got two lesbians in our RV and you let me do it. And I was like, this is so fucking cool. And then I've heard it. Now I'm just like embarrassed and I'm so sorry.
But you make it sound like it was something about them being two women. It's not. You just love an audience. You just found two new people. And it wouldn't have mattered.
It just helped the punchline.
Gender doesn't matter. Sexual orientation doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that they were lesbians. It doesn't matter that they were younger. Like, you could have just as happily put two 88-year-old men in the RV, like just stinking of old
Tell me about the war.
Yeah, and you would have been just as happy to just have two new people.
Yes.
Or one new person to talk to.
Well, you've already heard all my jokes and you're tired of me.
I could hear your extroversion. I could hear it, and you were just so excited and so happy to have a new captive audience. And you were like that last night, too.
Same thing with this poor
You
bartender.
want the bartender to pay attention to you. We were in the Tiki Bar, and there was the woman sitting next to you, and she's like, oh, you guys drink at Tiki Bars too? And we're like, yes.
Yes, we do. We collect tiki mugs.
And
How
then,
you doing?
Yeah. Same thing. You were so excited.
But then I was just excited because she said something and I was like, oh, I'm going to be mean to you. Because she's like, oh, I went to this polytechnic school. Yeah, I'm familiar with it. She's like, over by Pomona. I'm like, no. I said, Sarah and we went to the real Cal Poly.
Oh,
Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. I said, you went to Cal Poly Pomona. That's Cal Poly 0.5.
So you literally got excited that you got the opportunity to be rude and bully her?
Well, she was an architect, and that made me feel bad about myself. So I was like, well, fuck you. You're an architect. I went to the real Cal Poly. So yeah, I told her, I'm a fucked up person.
You are. Last night, you admitted to me that you're even more fucked up than I even knew that you were.
Yeah,
so,
I did do a fucked up thing.
Last night, you told me that when you're around people who are architects and who make you feel bad about yourself, you will try to one-up them. And you told me that if you're around men who make you feel bad about yourself, and they don't make you feel bad about yourself because they're mean. They just, I don't know what it is. They're happy or something.
Well, I'm trying to be the alpha. If somebody else is out alphaing me, then I'll just notch it
But
up.
I need it to be known.
I have my methods.
But I need it to be known that these are not men who are trying to alpha you. They're just existing. They're just existing, and they happen to be an architect. Or
Do you know how it works in
happen
the
to be
jungle?
Smart. So you told me last night that you will take your hat off and run your fingers through your hair to somehow prove it's like a peacocking thing, that you still have a full head of hair.
Well, I found out that anytime somebody sees a man with a baseball cap, the assumption is that they're bald. But I wear a baseball cap because I just like them and because I'm keeping the sun out of my eyes. But then this dude was trying to fornicate with the server, and I was like, that's uncool, bro. But he was also bald, which is not his fault. It's just male pattern baldness. You're born with it or you're not. There's nothing you can do about it. It's a fucked up thing. Like, I can't be any taller than 5'8 3/4, and some men look down at me and be like, you're short. Yeah, sorry. So, I felt like last night I should just take my hat off, and I just ran my fingers through the hair. And he even said, he goes, oh, you took your hat off. I was like, yeah, I fucking did.
So I missed all of this. I did not understand that this is how it works. I didn't understand if two men are seated and one man feels insecure and he's taller, he'll stand up, flex his height.
Yes.
I didn't understand that one man will take his hat off and flex that he still has hair. I don't understand any of this.
We flex our watches, we flex our cars, we flex our wives, we flex our dick size in the
Please
bathroom.
do not flex me. I do not want to be a part of that. That's madness. And if I catch you doing it, I'm going to do something really hard. Like, I'm going to pick my nose. I'm just going to do something really bad so that I'm not a flex.
I do it on Instagram all the time. I just show off your legs on Instagram. Look how hot these legs are. That's my wife, bitch.
Yeah, and I don't like that.
She got this full head of hair. I'm only 5'8 3/4.
Anyway, you thrive on meeting new people. You thrive on small talk. I hate it.
Well, I didn't realize that this was happening. So I was super excited. We brought these folks in to be guests on the show, which is new for us. And then you sat down on the recliner couch and you were drinking your Bud Lights. You had a 6-pack of those in the fridge. Like a good host, you offered one to Liz. Next thing I know, things are getting out of control. You have gone through an entire 5 of 6-pack of the Bud Lights. While sitting on the show, live on the show, you drank 5 Bud Lights.
Yeah.
After we already drank a ton of beers at the Icebox Brewing.
Yeah.
Then you reached over to see if Liz was finished with that, and she wasn't really liking it. So you then took her beer that she already sipped off of, and then you drowned that too.
Yeah, that's same thing in bars and public places. When you just start living your best life and you get super excited because a new person is going to talk to you, I will just keep ordering drinks. So you just keep amping up and getting more and more giddy and excited and just start holding court, and you're just, everyone circle in and listen
It's
to
the
my
Rob
stories.
Show.
And you get more and more excited and you start showing off like, I'm on Urban Dictionary and I race cars and listen to our podcast. I just shrink.
Have you read my book?
I shrink down quieter and calmer, and I just drink through it. So you'll look over at me and you'll be like, damn, you had 3 drinks. When did you order 2 more drinks? And I just look at the bartender, just keep them coming.
I do notice you have just a line of dead soldiers. I definitely recognized it last night because I kept closing us out, and then you're like, give me another Bud Light, give me another Bud Light, give me another Bud Light. So I was like, okay, give me another Rob Gina, give me another Rob Gina. And then we were out of our minds.
Yeah. I mean, all of that could be avoided. And we actually talked about this last night, like taking turns. Sometimes we'll sit at the bar so that you can be social. And then maybe at the next place, we'll sit at a table so that I can sort of have an introverted moment and refuel, re-energize.
Well, we did that. Last night we went to the downstairs. It was like kind of a speakeasy.
Escalator.
Yeah, like it's not the most speakeasiest place, but it's got some speakeasy vibes to it. It just says downstairs, not like there's something down here.
Well,
There is something down
it
there.
didn't feel like a speakeasy because we were standing on the Riverwalk and the boat came by, the boat full of people. And the boat driver, he's narrating the sights. And he says, there's the Esquire. It's a speakeasy. It's right there. So now the entire boat full of people, plus everyone sitting on the sidewalk that could hear the boat, we all know it's right there.
Loose lips sink ships.
So it didn't feel like much of a speakeasy when it's the boat driver who's like, there's a bar right there, everyone. Go to it.
Go to it.
There's no password. They just will let anyone in.
Yeah, just go to the door that says downstairs, and if you go down there, there's a really nice bar.
Yeah.
So you got to sit at a table there.
Yeah.
We solved all the world's problems together.
Yeah.
Talking about the introvert-extrovert thing.
Yeah.
And then we went to a new bar, and we sat at the bar. It was the Rob Show. Hat was off. It was fucking on, and we went ham.
Now, are you saying that he wanted to fornicate with the bartender because you're trying not to curse?
Yes.
Today's story has re-inspired you to stop cursing?
Yeah, let's talk about it. So the story was called Potty Mouth, published April 6, 2006 in the Santa Maria Sun. A story about me using foul language all the time.
Yeah, you do.
It's probably one of my biggest shames, you know?
If you listen to the podcast, you wouldn't know that it's something you feel
Well,
shameful
it's
about.
fuck time on the podcast.
Yeah, the podcast is pretty much we just curse. That's it.
You could say like, well, they're not original or they're not very witty if they just say the F word over and over again, but it entertains me when we do it and I like it. But I do agree that there's been many, many times in my life where I was probably judged for being dumb because I use a lot of foul language when it was unnecessary to do it. Sometimes it was my job in policing. You just yell at everybody. Get off the fucking, whatever. Sorry, public. That's what we do.
Really?
Yeah. Yes. You wanna hear a highway patrolman start cursing? Have him stand on the freeway and have to block traffic and have him to go to the next lane, and then you give him about 7 minutes of patience, and then he'll start throwing flares at cars, saying the F word, and beating on fenders because it's the most frustrating thing you can do in the history of the job.
So this cracks me up about you. God, I feel like all I do on this show is beat you up. I really I've been listening to older episodes and I'm just like, if I didn't know us, I'd just be like, why is this woman married?
What is he doing with this chick?
Yeah, she just beats him up. But I'm gonna beat you up a little bit more.
Fair enough.
So you talking about the highway patrol and that being like, I can't help it that I curse a lot. I had to do it with my job. It was the way I was socialized in my job. You do that in the story too. You're just, well, I just curse a lot because I grew up with rap and I grew up with Pulp Fiction. You blame your socialization. You will blame a lot of your flaws on your socialization. Like you are a victim of Eddie Murphy, and so therefore you can't be held accountable for your own language. You're a victim of traffic control, and that's how it is with traffic control.
That's how it goes.
you take absolutely no.
This road is fucking closed. Don't ask me again.
Accountability. You're just, I don't know what I was supposed to do. I was trying not to curse, but I don't know. I listened to rap, and therefore, ergo, and then I got a job as a highway patrolman. I just
fuck time.
I got a potty mouth, and I have,
And shame on me.
But you're like not really shamed. You're just, or ashamed. You're just, I don't know what you guys would expect from me.
I am a product of my environment.
There you go.
I blame society.
There you go.
Society made me this way.
It is a recurring theme with you.
Yeah, I'm blameless.
Constantly, I'm a product of my environment.
Yeah, I'm a product of my environment.
Okay. Well, then you're not accountable or responsible for anything.
So it's okay to say that I was given a number of privileges in my life, and I can't take credit for that. But then I can't also say, hey, I was also raised up this way, and I can't give blame to that. What do you think about them apples?
I said it's fine. You're a product of your environment.
That sounds like a retort. You don't have any fucking thing to say about it.
No, I'm sure you'll just, if I criticize you or you're thinking, you'll just turn around and tell me, you're a product of your environment.
Yeah, I'm a product of my environment. It's not my fault. Morningwood is not my fault.
It's not my fault.
I can't help it. Speaking of things that can be helped, we actually went to Scottsdale for spring training. We got to see our San Francisco Giants, and I loved it because it was the first time we'd ever done that before. Fun, kind of intimate group to see, MLB players. But I was missing a key component of the Giants was missing.
Me too.
I think we all were.
We were all missing it.
And what was that?
Gabe Kepler's forearms.
Gabe Kepler's arms, his chiseled chin, his body. So I've always had a broner for Gabe Kepler as well.
Yes.
There's only a few men that I have broners for. We've talked about Dirk Smelly, but Kepler was first. He was way before Dirk Smelly, man. So here's the thing I'll say about Kepler. As much as I miss staring at him, because I could just, when the game was kind of slow, I just look over the dugout and see how Gabe Kepler's looking, how tan his forearms were. He just looked amazing. And then he'd just be posting selfies on Instagram. But I realized something about him. One, he's fantastic and gorgeous. Two, we didn't win a lot of games with him. And so as a fan of the team, I want the team to win. So then I compared the previous coach, Bruce Bochy, right?
Yeah.
Love me some Bruce Bochy, dude. One of the greatest coaches, 3 world championships, right? World Series championships with him, with the Giants, 10, 12, and 14, the even years. So great. We were a part of it. It was great. When I say a part of it, I wasn't like hitting home runs and shit, but I was waving around my black and orange hat.
Right.
So anyways, when I saw Bruce Bochy, he was a little overweight, didn't always shave, kind of looked like a bag of shit. And I say that with the ultimate, it's a compliment.
He looked like a guy that had so much passion for coaching that he sometimes forgot to do other things.
Yeah, he didn't brush his teeth because he was thinking about baseball.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like, this is the left-handed hitter. I'm going to put a right-handed pitcher in. This guy's got this ERA. I'm putting this guy. We're going to swap this out. We're going to do some shit. So he is thinking about baseball. He is so engrossed in baseball, he doesn't have time to, eat healthy or whatever.
Right.
Now, when I see Kepler, I see a dude who is thinking about tanning his arms, his next workout, how many calories he had, when he's going to do yoga again, what about that last selfie, how many people liked it, because he took a lot of selfies. selfies with his shirt off. He's just a sexy man. But the thing is, I think this is a true thing about human beings. We only have so much capacity to do things and great things. And anybody who's a champion or an Olympian, they are all in on one thing, right? To be the world champion race car driver, you're probably a selfish piece of shit, right?
Right.
Or if you're a gold diver, right, in Olympics, that's all you do is jump in the water.
A gold medal diver, yeah.
Yeah, thank you. So then I think the same thing for Bochy. He just thought about baseball. And Kepler was thinking about how he looked. And then he wasn't thinking enough about the left-handed hitters coming up, and we lost some fucking games, and he got his ass canned.
Yeah.
And so I'm bummed because I wish we could have put Bochy's brain inside of Kepler. But if we did that, Kepler would look like a bag of trash within 1 week, right? Yeah. Teeth wouldn't be as whitened, not getting the haircut, and but we were winning games. We probably should have just made Kepler like the bat boy.
He is a glorious specimen of a
human being. Then
so pretty.
If all the girls and all the boys came out to see him in San Francisco, why don't we just have him on the field? Like, first base coach, Gabe Kepler, always out in the field, got his forearms out, looking good, right? Yeah. Not making any decisions really, except for run to second. I think he can handle that.
I don't know. Maybe they offered that to him, and maybe he just said, "I don't want to just be a pretty face. Like I don't want to be a piece of meat." Maybe he wanted to be respected for his coaching abilities.
I don't understand what you're saying.
I know.
He's just a piece of meat.
Yeah.
The thing about it is, I'm sure that's the truth, right? He's like, hey, I was the guy for the Giants, big team here, so I'm not going to get a demotion, but I missed him. There wasn't much to look at.
The funny thing is, we lost that game. And I mean, I get it. It's only spring training, and we're trying out new strategies.
We lost that game, no Bochy and no Kepler.
We lost that game, and I didn't get to see the loss conference that that started to be my favorite part of the game. At the end, when they would lose.
Press conference with Gabe Kepler.
Press conference, and he would come out, and he would talk, and I couldn't hear him. I didn't know what he was saying. Because he just was so pretty to look at.
He was. He would say, he's like, yeah, we lost this one. I don't know what happened. We didn't hit enough runs, and we didn't make enough outs.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, that's the game of baseball.
But he could have been reciting the ABCs. I didn't give a fuck. I just was watching him.
Yeah, sexy man. Miss me some Gabe Kepler. I hope you're doing well out there, Gabe, wherever you're at in your fancy forms. I guess I could just keep following you on Instagram and see what he's up to. Yeah, I'll do that.
Share those
I'll just roll him into my algorithm for feed. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for sure.
So this story, our kids talking about our cursing, it's kind of funny because, the kids are scolding you in 2006 and they're saying, Daddy, don't cuss. And now our adult children have the foulest mouths.
What's their product of their environment?
Oh.
It's our fault. I'll take the blame for our kids' foul mouths. I won't take the blame for my own foul mouth. You see?
Okay. All right.
So I do share some blame in their upbringing. I fucked it up.
I don't think that their cursing is our fault.
Oh, it absolutely is. I curse all the time around them. Okay. I mean, awfully. I mean, other people would take notice, like, geez, what's wrong with Rob Kreider?
I curse like a sailor, and like the story says, it's true. My dad never cursed. I did not grow up in a house with foul language.
Yeah, but you met me at a very young, formidable age.
Oh, so you're going to take responsibility for my cussing, too?
Oh, yeah. I'm very influential.
No.
I am. For 5'8" 3/4, pretty influential guy. Can move some mountains and shit.
Only when you take your hat off.
My hat's off, baby.
You got to show people your hair.
Remember the Alamo?
Yeah. So for a while, you and I decided, because we fuel off of competition.
Yes.
It's amazing how competitive we are with each other.
For the record, I lost the Wordle, Quordle, Octordle game today against you by a lot of points.
Yeah, no.
You're smarter than me.
Tomorrow, I only have to earn 2 points tomorrow, and I take you out.
$200.
And then you're done. But we decided that we would do, and as I recall, it was something similar where we were passing $1 back and forth to each other, and it was, I don't know, I think we had like $100 or something, and it was something like that. Same thing, like winner takes all, and we were passing money back and forth.
Basically, it was like, if you curse, you got to put $1 in the pot or whatever, and the winner takes all.
Yeah. The crazy part is, I thought this is going to be a cakewalk, especially this time I was still in the classroom 8 hours a day, and I didn't curse in the classroom. Like, contrary to popular belief, I never cursed in the classroom.
Or drank, because there's been confusion.
Or drink, yeah, I didn't.
I think people listening to the podcast thought you probably went into the class drinking vodka and said, listen, you little fuckers, 2 + 2 is 5.
Yeah.
It's new math.
No, I believe it or not, I was quasi-professional. So I thought, if I can turn it off 8 hours a day, I can turn it off anytime.
Sure.
I'll kick your ass. And I lost. I was super surprised at how much you were beating me. I was even trying to instigate situations where you would curse just so that I could try to get my money back, and I could win.
Oh, cheese and crackers, flapjacks.
Yeah. Oh, it was so frustrating.
Even my friends at work were like, "Hey, man, you really rolled it back. I think I got a promotion."
You did. You actually did really,
I'm like,
really well.
amazing. I don't have to use foul language every day. And I made a concerted effort to do it because I'm very competitive. I just need inspiration, like a reason to do something, and I'll do the shit out of it.
Yeah. No, you were quite
Or I'll do the
obsessive
snot out of it.
about it. Yeah. And then it didn't last, though, obviously, because we both started.
Well, once I won, I was like, fuck it, I won.
That's true.
Here's my money.
That's true.
I got to put that money in my little racing savings account and go race my car, and I was fucking stoked.
So obviously, there's only one reason why you would beat me at this game.
Why?
You frustrate me more than I frustrate you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you're saying that your cursing is due to how frustrating I am as your spouse, partner, and best friend?
You drive me to cuss. I'm a product of my environment and being around you.
Oh, really? Well, you know what? I'm glad you brought that up. Let me talk about you, my passenger princess.
Okay.
So yesterday, I'm in a bar. I go to the bathroom. There's a river and there's a bar. Okay, so there's a couple of landmarks here. We have water, and we have a sidewalk, and we have a bar. We're both in the bar. You go out of the bar. You say to me, I'm outside of the bar to the right. And so I go, okay. So I go outside the bar, and as I'm walking out, this was by text, and I was walking out, I'm thinking to myself, it's definitely going to be left. She's going to be on the left. I know she said right. She's definitely been on the left. But I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt, because I'm not going to be like, this chick's so stupid. She doesn't know her left from her right. I mean, we teach kids at a pretty young age. What, 3 years old? We learned that?
Yeah.
And if you hold up your left hand and you put your thumb out, it makes an L. So you can, if you're confused about what's your left and right, hold up your left hand. The L shape of your index finger and your thumb shows you that's my left. Remember teaching that to our kids. Then, so I'm looking for you on the right. And then I realize you're not there. And I'm like, okay. So then I look over you to the left, and then you're coming from the left for sure. You know what I mean? And so you're dyslexic when it comes to, or you just don't care. But you've always been telling me how smart you are, but also you don't know your left from your right.
That was super succinct. I appreciate the way you said that. Just, you don't know your left from your right. And I would agree and say, like, I struggle with that.
Why? It's not just that you don't know your left from your right. Like last night, you don't know your left from your right. It was a problem last night while drunk. We couldn't navigate. We couldn't find each other because you don't know where you are.
I do actually know my left from my right. I told you the reason that I said it was because the hand that I was holding my phone with was, and I actually said I'm to the left and I was to the right. You had that backwards. But I hold my phone in my left hand. So I think because I was texting you, I was holding the phone with my left hand. I was like, I'm to the left.
So it means if there's an item in any said hand and your brain starts to work directionally, you're like, what hand's holding something? My left hand. Then everything in the world is to the left at this point.
Yeah. Well, when I'm that drunk. I was also very drunk.
True. You were. No, actually, it was earlier in the evening. We'd only gone to the Tiki Bar at that point. We'd gone to the Tower of the Americas and then the Tiki Bar, which has some great drinks.
My energy was depleted.
Yeah.
Because you were so extroverted at the Tiki Bar. You were talking the ears off of that architect and bullying her. And so, like I said, I shrink down into myself. That takes a lot of my energy to maintain a smile and nod my head in small talk. I fucking hate it. So
you hate small talk, and you hate your husband doing small talk next to you.
Well, because I feel like I have to be polite too.
Well, I think you're always trying to protect women. You're like, hey, he's not trying to fornicate with you. He's just trying to be friendly.
Well, also,
and he also going to make fun of you because you went to Cal Poly Pomona.
How would it look if you start chatting up this woman and your wife who's sitting right next to you? She just like sort of turns away. She's just like, oh, and you know. In reality, I'm like, oh, I hate small talk. I'm going to pull out my phone and start playing a game and just avoid small talk. But in actuality, it would look like I was very, very rude. People would be like, oh, she must be mad at him because he's talking to this woman. It would look so awkward and so weird. So I feel inclined to engage and be polite and nod and smile and
in
follow.
Doing that, you just order more drinks.
Small talk. And I hate it. I don't know why I hate it so much. But I came out of there feeling very exhausted and my energy was low. And
head was mixed up. You don't know your left from your right.
Exactly.
Oh, wow.
Exactly. I needed time to refuel.
Well, it's a good thing you weren't like a tank driver in the Afghanistan war, you know what I mean? And the general's like, okay, up here, make a left, and then shoot. Now, to the right's a school. The left is the fucking enemy.
Look,
and then you turn to the right and you kill a bunch of kids.
It would only be a problem if in said tank I was meeting, 2 or 3 new people for the first time and we were engaging in small talk.
Well, you were meeting foreigners and then trying to kill them. That's what war is.
Well, yeah, that would have me quite upset and I would probably mistake my left and my right.
And you would kill children.
Yeah, that was why I
You're no soldier, baby.
No, I am not.
Well, I love you. Hey, while we're in San Antonio, we went and saw an athlete of all athletes. We saw the 7 7'4", Victor Wembanyama, a rookie for the NBA team, the San Antonio Spurs. Yeah, he just turned 20 years old.
So he's practically a teenager.
Yes.
7'4".
Spurs play the Dallas Mavericks, and that is a pretty big rivalry here in the Texas area between those two cities. And it was rowdy. The crowd was a little mouthy. We were sitting by a guy who had a lot to say about it and frustrated. I wasn't surprised no one got their ass kicked.
Then we were sitting by people who had a lot to say about the guy who had a lot to say. So they were saying, hey, shut your mouth. It's rude. And then at one point, a guy told him, you're going to lose this game for us. I know there was like some soccer instance where fans got so unruly that the officials fined the soccer team on the basis of the fans' behavior. But I don't think that that's happening in the NBA. So I was really perplexed by that. I was like, look, the guy's an asshole. He's a mouthy asshole. Don't worry. We're leaving town tomorrow. No, I'm just kidding.
Exactly. I'm going to get him out of here.
But no, that guy was, not you, but that guy was a mouthy asshole. But I didn't understand when other fans were like, hey, we're all going to pay the price for this. And I was just like, I don't think that we are.
He had a really, he had a voice on him. He could really project his voice, and he was hitting the players with some
But
shit.
I was learning things from him.
He did have some info.
He was really, really knowledgeable. So he was yelling at number 11 of the Mavericks, who was like, and I did notice, I was like, shit, every single time the Mavericks put him in, we start losing. Because it was a very, very, very close game. But every single time.
Now, when you say we, let's let people understand, any town we're in, we're rooting for that team. So we were rooting for the Spurs.
Yes.
Never seen them before in our lives. We were all about it. Like, fucking go Spurs.
Oh, yeah. But every time 11 came in, I mean, the score would just spike up and skew towards the Mavericks. So I was just like, okay, put 11 back on the bench. But anyways, so the mouthy guy, he is like, you don't have LeBron to bail you out anymore. You can't lean on LeBron anymore. So when I say like I was learning,
and he was yelling, "Where's LeBron?
Yeah.
Where's LeBron?" I was like, this guy's talking shit.
Oh, this number 11. It turns out he used to play for the Cavaliers.
Yeah.
When LeBron played.
And they won the
NBA 2016 NBA championship. But according to this mouthy guy, this number 11 didn't really contribute to the Cavs win. It was all LeBron. And now without LeBron, this guy was no longer a talented player.
I think LeBron probably agrees with that.
No, the other guy he was yelling at, I can't remember. It was like
he's like, hey, everyone back off. LeBron pays me $5,000 a game to heckle the shit out of this guy every time he comes to town. He
took heckling to a new level because he wasn't just like, you suck. It was very, very, very personal. He knew personal things about each player.
Your mom, Peggy, who lives on Main Street, she's a fucking whore. You're like, damn.
Like I said, I was learning
She's
things.
not picking up her prescriptions anymore. I'm just like, Jesus, buddy.
But because he was so mouthy, I just thought like, oh, this guy's just talking a lot of shit. But then when I went to fact check him, like, when I look up number 11 and I say, oh, actually, he did play with LeBron, I was like, oh, shit, you're right. But I was also, you know a lot about the Mavericks for being a Spurs fan.
And plus, I'm like, let's yell at the fucking Spurs right now because they keep passing the ball out of bounds and missing all their free throws and just doing really shady work. And then Wembanyama, who's this like amazingly tall, seeing a person 7'4" run and dunk and use these massive alien arms, I felt a little guilty. I felt like I paid my entry fee to the circus. You know what I mean? Like where I'm seeing the tallest man in the world, run around. It was wild.
I think it's because he's 20 and he hasn't grown into himself yet. Like men still develop and grow into them. Like at 20, he's not even fully developed yet. And it looked like it. He looked gangly, and I think that's his youth.
Yeah, he had an off game too.
I think if we see him 5 years from now, he won't look as gangly. He'll look like as intimidating as hell. And that's what I said to you. I was like, if this kid gains 40 pounds, imagine just the intensity of his presence on the court. Like if he doesn't look so gangly.
Well, I'm glad we got to see him in his rookie year because I think he may be something. I'm not guaranteeing that, but he may be something in the NBA just based on his massive height, and we'll see what
so do they
come to fruition.
Like they say saying. That he might be, one of the greats. I emailed the coach and I just offered, I said, hey, I know how to gain weight.
I can help you with that.
I can help you. I said, so in the off season, if you want to come stay with us for a few weeks and eat like I eat, I know you'll gain 40 pounds. I sent that offer out. I mean, we'll see if they take me up on it.
Just give him to me in the off season. We'll bulk him up.
Yeah.
And then he's going to come back for, training, and NBA's like, yeah, he got fat and he's drunk. And he curses all the time. What did the fucking Kreiders do? I'm like, I don't know. This might be the last time we get some of that NBA training money. I don't think we did a good job here.
He's from France, so I don't even know how good his English is to begin with. But that would be, you're right. He would come back drunk, fat, and just throw me the fucking ball.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me make a fucking basket. You love talking to new people. I don't. I want to talk to my friend that I've had for 20 years.
I know that you say that that's the extrovert in me and I just love it, but I am actually interested in people. I'm not just trying to always alpha them. I'm like, oh, what's going on? Oh, you're an architect. That's so interesting. Like
I'm interested
people's lives do interest me. I get something from it. I try to learn from everybody. So I kind of strike these conversations up so I enjoy it. Then occasionally I use my powers for evil, right? I'm like, oh, this guy's no good, so
yeah,
I'm gonna, whatever. But I actually don't mind small talk. But I've noticed some weirdness, and now that we're camping a lot on this trip from LA to Miami, it seems like the older gentlemen, as soon as they see you, they want to chat you up at an uncomfortable amount of time.
Oh yeah,
And I'm like, hey, I'm just trying to uncork the pooper here. Like, I don't really want to talk to you right now, and they're just chatting you up. And I realize now they've been stuck in an RV with only their wife for like, I don't know, 3 months at a time. They're starved for anyone else's conversation, and they're just seeking it out.
I like how you went gender-based on that.
Yeah, well, I haven't seen any women do it yet.
Well, because women aren't out dumping the poop.
Well, they're inside the motorhome making the dishes.
Exactly. Anyways, I hate small talk, but recently I made small talk with a woman, and it was painful and it was uncomfortable, especially because I think she and her husband are swingers.
Uh-oh. You again with the upside down pineapple.
But
shit. You're always finding that.
She was telling me, so she was traveling too, but she was telling me how she and her husband, they have naked hot tub parties. And she's like, every Sunday, we have like 3 different couple friends that come over and we just do naked hot tubs. And I was like, okay, this is why I hate small talk, because people will tell you shit that I don't know how to react to. You know what I mean? So I kind of forgot about her and was just like, that's so uncomfortable. I don't want to think about her and her naked hot tub. And this wasn't a hot lady. It wasn't like I was like, oh, because sometimes I do like, oh, the insecurity in me. I'm like, oh, if I had your body, I'd have a hot tub.
So you're saying it wasn't a hot tub, it was an ugly tub.
Yeah, I guess so. But I made no judgment, like to each their own. It just was like, this is more information that I needed from you right now, this morning, lady. And I kind of forgot about it. But lately, I got to admit, I've been thinking about it more and more.
Should we do this?
No.
Are we doing Sunday naked hot tub?
No, because here's what would happen to me if I was at a naked hot tub party. I'd be waiting for everyone to get out of the hot tub so that I could watch them climb out and I could like gauge the hairiness of their asses and sort of compare, like, how's mine?
So is this an insecurity you have that you have too much hair on your ass?
Mine more hairy? Is mine the right amount of like a typical or a normal amount of hair? I really don't know. And I'm not going to Google it because I don't need that fucking shit in my
Google image median ass hair growth?
Yes. And I mean, exactly. What would that start to feed me if I put that into
What would your algorithm have?
Yeah. So I don't know what it'll do to my algorithm.
Well, your algorithm right now is just dogs talking.
Yeah.
And jewelry.
Yeah.
And drinks.
Yeah.
And memes about politics.
Yeah. Mostly talking dogs, though. The amount of talking dogs on the internet, unbelievable. So many.
Now, these dogs aren't actually, it's not magic. They're not actually talking. This is, people are doing voiceovers with dogs, and you think that is the most hilarious thing you've ever seen. That is your humor. That is what you think is fucking hilarious.
Oh, I do.
A dog staring at the camera and then someone saying like, I'm a dog.
Yeah.
And you're just laughing out loud.
Oh, so much. I laugh so.
Yeah, I can't go to sleep at night because the bed is shaking because you're just laughing.
And I'll listen to the same, it's the same voiceover over and over and over and over and over again, but it's different people's dogs. So it's like everybody's doing it. Everyone's like, okay, now I'll do it with my dog. And I'm like, oh, shit, this is a dog I haven't seen before. I haven't seen this dog perform. Dog math. This is one of my favorites. Dog math. I have 15 balls. 1 goes under the couch. I have no balls. That's so fucking funny and so true. But when it's like a new dog, I'm like, oh shit, I haven't seen a beagle do this bit before. Oh, the beagle's really nailing it. And then I just keep scrolling through my reels. I'm like, oh, it's a golden retriever. Oh, it's 2 golden retrievers. They're both going to say it. Oh my God, fucking hilarious.
Yeah, I love you. And I'm glad you're getting an enormous amount of happiness out of this because I want you happy because you're the only person I get to spend my life with now in this motorhome. So I'm glad you're happy. I'm not judging you for that when I hear you laughing out loud at these jokes I don't get. I'm not saying to myself like, really, that's what you think is funny.
How do you not get that? That a dog has 15 balls, but if one goes under the couch, he has no balls.
No, I had a dog, and our dog did that exact thing, same thing. So I get it, and that's a funny thing, but I'm like, oh, chuckle, on to the next thing.
Anyways, if I start Googling ass hair, that's going to screw up my dog out.
But this is why you and I can't even watch movies together, because I like a good Paul Thomas Anderson, like 2.5 hour, into the human condition, weird shit going on, like Licorice Pizza, which you fucking hated.
It's the worst movie.
And then I'm like, oh, that's so cool. And then you're like, no, that's dumb. Paul Thomas Anderson sucks. Don't say that. Don't say that.
That movie was fucking terrible. And
But then you're like, but look at this dog meme. Oh my, and you're like
was
laughing out loud.
It was a romance story between like a 15-year-old boy played by like a 32-year-old man and then like this 25-year-old girl. Like it was
Don't you understand it? It was the ultimate male fantasy. A 15-year-old boy gets to hook up with a 25-year-old girl.
That's grotesque, dude.
Why?
Because
you don't think that's what 15-year-old boys want? Because they do.
That's grotesque, dude. That's
grotesque.
Yes.
That a 15-year-old boy would want to make love to a 25-year-old woman.
No, it's grotesque that the woman would reciprocate. It's
illegal.
a crime. It's a crime. Yeah.
Well, look,
it's
the
called
thing is
go to jail.
These crimes happen. You know what I'm saying?
I know, and those women
Paul
need to go to
Thomas
jail.
Anderson is just making a movie about it.
No, he was romanticizing it.
No, I mean, it was the 70s, man.
It was a terrible fucking movie.
It was the 70s. It was a crazy time.
No.
It was a crazy time.
It was a terrible movie. It was so boring and so stupid. Yeah, I couldn't believe we were watching it. But you're right. Our taste in movies.
Yeah. I thought that was. I love the human condition. I thought it was fascinating. And then you hated it because you're like, I'd rather just watch 500. I could watch 500 dog videos on TikTok or whatever instead of watching this 2.5 hour film.
I like formulaic.
Yeah,
I like to be able to count on what's going to happen. That's why I like all these like 45-minute crime TV shows. I know exactly what's going to happen. There's going to be a crime. There's going to be an investigation. Then there's going to be an arrest.
Gotcha.
It's very formulaic. Pretty much always has a happy ending. The bad guy always gets arrested. They wrap it up between like 42 and 45 minutes, an hour with commercials. I like it. I like formulaic.
That's your go-to.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, man, that's your thing. This is America, baby. You get to do whatever you want. Remember the Alamo. That's all I'm going to say. Hey, on our travels, when we were at a Harvest Host at the Icebox Brewery, I met a fellow author. His name is Philip Hurst. He wrote a book called The Whiskey Boys. He and I traded books. He got a copy of Cadet Blues. I signed his, he signed mine. So I'll be enjoying his book. And so thank you, Philip, for passing that on to me, and will give me something to read on the road. We are still cranking away across the United States of America. And where are we going next?
The Riverwalk to get puffy tacos?
Puppy tacos.
Puffy. Or do you mean where are we going next in the RV?
Where is the Tiki RV taking us next?
Austin.
And that's the one I can't wait to go to. I love me some Austin, Texas. I love 6th Street. Such a good scene there.
Yesterday, these old fuckers tried to tell us we're too old for 6th Street in line at the Tower of Americas.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
They were so fucking drunk. Like they were partiers. So I thought like, oh, kindred, and that they were party. Oh, and this is another couple that you just struck up a fucking conversation with, and then they wouldn't go away.
I was waiting in the line for an elevator, and I was nervous about heights, so I started chatting them up.
Was so drunk, and he just reeked of alcohol. But I really thought like, oh, okay, like these are our people.
They're basically the future us.
He's talking about San Antonio, and then he's like talking about Austin, and you said 6th Street, and he said, oh, that's for all the kids. Like and he was like, including all of us, like all 4 of us. He's like, we're way too old for 6th Street now. And
I'm like, maybe you are old, man.
Yeah, no, I'm going down there. I don't care what you say. Then his wife was like, oh, no, that's totally a college place. And I was like, okay.
I went to college.
Yeah.
I know how to fucking party in college.
I'm like, look, you got to be 21 to get in, but there's no maximum age requirement,
My money is good here.
Yeah, exactly. They're not like over 40, you're not allowed.
Well, you say that, but we recently had a situation on St. Practice Day, the day before St. Patrick's Day. We went to the Hut as a tiki bar in Tucson, college town, U of A.
Yeah.
And we walked in there, and we didn't know that there was a uniform of the day. We weren't given that information.
Yeah.
And then we walked in, there was a table of ladies, and they were all wearing the uniform of the day.
Ill-fitting jeans and a green crop top.
And blonde hair. Straight, long blonde hair.
Yeah.
And they all looked like they were 19, but they were obviously 21, or at least had a fake ID.
Yeah.
So they gave you a look, and you didn't like it. And you're like, those girls were kind of like, what are you doing here?
They looked at us like their parents had just walked in. And then I was like, ha, you guys are wrong. Our kids are older than you. We're older than your parents. So fuck off.
Exactly.
Little girls. Find some jeans that fit better. I don't understand the style. With
They
jeans all like baggy and.
But they triggered you. You were butthurt about it, and you were like insecure about it, and you're like, oh, they were looking at me and whatever. I'm like, fuck them, dude. We're gonna get drunk here. It's St. Patrick's Day. Let's do it.
Because they need to. You're the guy who fucking takes your hat off to alpha other people. You know what I mean? Like I was like, you guys need to understand that we're cool and we're a good time and we're not gonna fucking bother you. You know what? It was a weird thing because pretty much every bar I ever walk into, I just always feel like I'm normal. Norm, and like everyone's like, Norm. Like I just always feel very welcome. And
Yes.
you and I are overconfident, especially when we get too many drinks in us. And so we always feel like, hey, we've arrived.
The fucking party is
can
here.
start.
You're welcome.
Now, that doesn't really exist. I know that, but that's always what's happening in my mind.
Sure.
You know? So when I went into this one, like, we've arrived. You're welcome. And instead, I had these like 8 little girls, like sort of like look at us, like whose parents got here. Like we were the butt of a joke. I was like a little bit sensitive to that. I was like, no, you little bitches.
No, you little bitches.
Yeah, it wasn't very friendly of them.
So
Very nice.
you were sitting with your back to them. I was sitting so I could see them. And what was going on their table was very, very compelling. They had a lot of boys who would come up to them. They all had the same Patrick Mahomes haircut. I didn't know that was a thing. There was like 3 dudes with the same haircut.
Oh, you noticed that right away.
And
You were
they're
like,
all-
dude, every guy in here has a Patrick Mahomes haircut.
And they're all just vaping. Like they're sucking on that electric dick. Like it's the
Yeah.
last breath of their life. And so I'm like, one, this is weird. Because
That
like
was upsetting to me to
Patrick
see so
Mahomes
many.
is cool, but like having his haircut's really not that cool.
But that was very sad to me to see so many young people vaping.
So I was watching that show, but you were like, hey, stop staring at those fucking girls. You're looking at those fucking girls like you're a pervert. I'm like, no, I'm looking at a very interesting thing. There's something going on here with a human condition that I don't understand. I don't understand these haircuts. I don't understand the vaping. You know, I don't know what's going on here. But you're like, yeah. But if you look at those girls and they catch you looking at them, they're going to be like, oh, that old lady who shouldn't be here, now her husband is ogling at us.
Yes.
And like, we are the object of his affection.
Yes.
She is not.
I didn't want that.
So you got all up my ass about it.
I did.
So
And you were like, no, I'm interested in this. And I was like, look, so am I. So first of all, I want to see also, because this is an interesting show. Do they understand that their pants don't fit? That this is a bad
what is going on here?
for women's jeans? Like what's going on? Do they all know they have the same exact hairdo? Like what?
Yes.
What is happening here? So I was also interested. But then I was also like, no, we're not going to give them the satisfaction that we're this cliched couple where I'm just sitting there fucking blind and stupid to my husband, like 50 years old, staring down a bunch of college co-eds. Like, I'm just like, no, that's a gross stereotype and we're not participating in it.
So pro tip, boys, this is how you do it. I just acquiesced, said, you're right. I'll tell you what I'll do. Because I can't stop staring at this because it's just fucking crazy town. Let's switch seats and I'll look at the band and then you can stare at these girls and you just shake it all in. Because I was like, there's no way. I don't want to fight with you about it. Like fuck it, dude. Like, I'll just switch seats. Like, I'm above reproach here. Like, I'm
Yeah.
not looking at these fucking girls and give a shit.
Then I felt bad though, because I felt like we were like kind of like at the zoo. Oh, look, there's flamingos here. And you're like, where? And I'm like, you don't get to look at them. Like,
yeah,
I
exactly.
felt,
You
I
don't
felt
need to see
kinda
this.
bad
Yeah.
about that.
But then you went to the bathroom and found out that that same group of girls actually was in the bathroom already.
Yeah, no, so we were outside. Then I found that same group of girls was about 4 times on the inside and then another time in the bathroom. And they were everywhere.
It was like going into a funhouse mirror. You go into a bar and it's like you turn around and the same girl is in front of you.
Yeah.
Because it's like 50 mirrors.
Yeah.
But it was actually, there was no mirrors and there was just 50 girls who
No,
were
that's why I felt-
identical.
When I came inside, I felt like, how'd you guys beat me in here? Like I got up and walked away to go to the bathroom. And then when I got to the bathroom, I was like, no, I just passed your table. You were seated. How are you in here? And then I was just like, you're in my way.
They were clones. They were U of A
Yeah.
St. Patrick's Day.
They were
uniforms.
using
They
the
were clones.
mirror, and the mirror hangs above the sinks. And I really just wanted to get in and wash my hands. And they were kind of just in my way. So then I was just like, hey, girls, the sign says I need to wash my hands for 20 seconds. Get the fuck out of my way.
Hey, girls, you don't need a mirror. Just stare at each other.
Yeah.
Fix your fucking hair.
Exactly.
It's not even necessary.
You guys all shop from the same Amazon account, I guess. You all go to the same hairstylist.
Yeah,
Like,
so we saw a pretty good
you all
party.
look adorable in your green crop tops for St. Patrick's Day, but I'm over you now. Like I've seen the flamingo exhibit. I don't need to see any more flamingos now.
So let me ask you this, because I don't know how it works. I've been to stores. I've never seen a store that carries 500 green crop tops. So how do all these girls know to wear it? How do they order it and have it on the same day and rock the same bar? How does that even happen?
Well, it was St. Patrick's Day, so everyone's wearing green.
Yes.
And I think that's just the trend.
But I had a green
Just
T-shirt on. But
Ill-fitting
my-
jeans and a crop top is the trend. So that's what they wear every day.
I was wearing the same green T-shirt that every dude in that place was wearing, and I didn't have the same Patrick Mahomes haircut.
Yeah, but that's called
'Cause
fashion.
are you saying I'm
trends.
uncool?
Yeah, you should probably get a Patrick Mahomes haircut.
Fuck that.
Well, youth is wasted on the young.
It is. That's the thing about youth is that they have it and we don't. And
Yeah.
no matter what you want to say about it, they have it, man. And you're just like, there is some like bitterness and jealousy
Now,
about it.
once they had a few drinks in them and they realized that we weren't their parents and that we weren't going to like tell on them or ask them how their college classes are going. Like once they realized like, oh, those old people are just going to stay in their lane over there. The man's not going to be gross. Like then I went to the bathroom and because my t-shirt said day drinking, then they were like, oh my goodness, that's so cute. And I'm like, I know, like they put words on t-shirts sometimes. It doesn't have to just be a plain green crop top. And they're like, that's so funny. Where'd you get that? And I was like, well, I made it because I'm witty and smart. And that's when I was just like, and you have to go to school tomorrow and I don't. So
There's that.
Yeah. So I was like, I think I'm winning this competition.
I think you are winning.
Yeah.
Especially because you got me.
True.
They don't have me.
But there was that kid that climbed the fence.
That was a dope move.
So we watched this kid climb over the fence and he has to walk right by us to get from where he jumped the fence. So I stopped him. I said, oh, excuse me, sir. I don't think that's the correct entryway. Do you have ID? Like, what are you doing? He got a little nervous.
Well, he fell to pieces because we were authority figures in this
Yeah.
line. He's like, you're older people. You could own this bar for all
I was like, hey, if you guys are all going to look at me like your fucking parents are here, well, for a minute, I'm going to bust your balls and I'm going to act like your mother. So, yeah, I was like, you don't belong. You're not 21. Go back out through the correct entry. But then I just started laughing and I was like, I don't give a fuck what you do.
I was like, go buy me a drink. Oh, that's right. You can't. You're 20.
He got in, though.
He got it. No, it was a baller move, man. He just jumped the fence. Like I said to you, I'm like, if he jumps the fence and gets kicked out, he's not in. If he doesn't jump the fence, he's not in. So, I mean, the best shot is to jump the fence.
Then his friend comes up and starts defending him. And then they start telling us when his birthday is. And they're like, no, his birthday is in April. He pulled out his license to prove to us that he was going to be 21 in April, as if like, okay, all right, you're 20
That's
and 11
fine.
months. You're good. And I'm just like,
This place won't lose their liquor license over 60 days.
We don't care. We're just patrons of the same bar. Like, we're just busting your balls a little bit. So seeing him defend it and like bringing in his friend to defend it and everything, it was quite comical.
Well, later I saw him at the bar and he was pointing to me. He's like, I already checked in with him. Like, I'm fucking in. Like, that guy checked me off. That like undercover security guy sitting by that desk by those girls he's not staring at.
Yeah. All right, let's go eat some puffy tacos.
Let's go eat some puffy tacos not made with dogs. Certainly not young dogs and puppies. You know why you want to end the show? Because your drink is empty. All right, well, I'll cheers you with an empty cup. So let's raise a glass. Thanks for hanging out, baby. Cheers.
Cheers.
And that was Last Call. You did it. You survived an episode of Stories and Cocktails. But did Rob or Sarah's liver survive the show? I don't know. Tune into the next episode to find out. To enjoy some more stories and some more cocktails. By the way, if you want to support the debauchery of the show, then buy the host their next round by Venmoing a couple of gold doubloons at Stories and Cocktails. Back in the day, a gold doubloon was only 4 Spanish dollars. Who knew? Well, folks, I'll be right here behind the bar, cleaning the glassware and awaiting your return to the Stories and Cocktails podcast. Cheerio, friends.
If you enjoy hearing Rob Kreider's different humor columns here on the Stories and Cocktails podcast, then I promise you will love his novel, Cadet Blues. Cadet Blues is Rob's hilarious tell-all about desperately trying to survive the shock and awe boot camp-style training at the California Highway Patrol Academy. People from all different walks of life have come to love this book because Cadet Blues is simply a crazy good read. Heartfelt, inspiring, and damn funny. It's available in paperback through Amazon, eBay, or cadetblues.com, where you can get free shipping and a personalized autographed book. Or you can download a digital copy of Cadet Blues from Amazon Kindle, Barnes & Noble Nook, or Apple iBooks. Do yourself a favor and check out the novel, Cadet Blues.